Hello YouTube LEGO fans, welcome to the channel. This is Jackbrick coming to you today with a mock review of a family car. And this car and this video are mostly about the fact that this car can hold 4 minifigs. So you could speak about an entire family. And it has a little caravan, which doesn't fit 4 minifigs, but you get the idea. LEGO once made a set. It was the 6633 set. It was a small little set. You can see it in the picture here. Oh LEGO, please tell me, how is it possible that you call this a family car? It only fits 1 minifigure. That ain't a family, that's a single guy. This set was named a family car, which is kind of weird. Most of you already noticed. It's weird to call something a family car when it only holds 1 minifigure, right? So after I got the diner set, which holds this beautiful pink convertible, and it had this technique to actually, in a 6 wide vehicle, place 2 minifigs next to each other. My mind was really blown and I was like, well, I will never build a car again which doesn't hold at least 2 minifigures. So when I was busy with making car mocks, I thought of making this station wagon. Let me put this aside. Now, most of you who've seen one of the previous videos, you've noticed that I'm a really fan of a two-tone color scheme. So that's something I have integrated in the car itself and a little bit in the matching little caravan. Let's start with the caravan first. It is more of a caravan to match the idea of a caravan. It's not suited to hold a lot of minifigs, but it does have this little stairway which doesn't touch the ground when you drive around. It has a little door which opens up, and the roof can be easily removed and you can see the inside. It has a really small kitchen with a little refrigerator which is really hard to see. It's behind the bench here. There you have it. It's in front of the stove, and it has a 1-stud wide seat which also folds down as a bed. So for this really little space to build, I think I've crammed a whole lot of details inside, which is nice. And of course there's enough room to bring some stuff to your campsite, like a little table and such. I really like the streamlined effect of the roof. As you can see, it gives it a bit of a classic look. And the caravan is able to stand with this modified brick with a clip. As you can see, it's attached to this part. So much for the trailer. Now back to the car. this video is actually about two things. One is reviewing this MOC, and the second thing is how do you fit space for 4 minifigures in a car which is just 6 wide, right? So first of all, for scale, I have some of the models from Lego itself, and this way we are able to see how the scale of the station wagon is in compared to just the Lego model. And I also brought the Ford Bronco, which is this car, also to compare the scale, because it is the same height as the Chevy Blazer, which came with the Stranger Things set, which was recently released. So for the scale, as you can see, the station car is a little bit more higher than this Ford Mustang, and also of course a little bit higher than this convertible. But if you compare it to the Bronco is a bit more higher than the station car. So if you take that as a scale compare, they're all 6 wide, right? The station car is a bit higher than muscle car, the Ford Mustang, but lower than this well, what do you call it? SUV pickup like kind of car. So I think that came out pretty well, and we also can compare them in length. Let me stack those up. As you can see, the station car is well, it is in fact a bit longer than this Ford Bronco, but I think this also, the wheelbase is also a bit longer, but I think that really resembles the reality. And if you compare it to this one, the length, well, came out pretty well. So let me put away all those other cars, and as you've seen in the introduction, there are some guys from other Lego sets. I might say guys from Minecraft, such as Steve, and a few zombies, which are going to help me out, because I wanted to explain to you how you can make your car suitable for 4 minifigs. Now again, this car was the resemblance. This one holds 3, as in 1 driver's seat, 2, and 1 in the back. And this actually holds 4. So I made this a completely removable part. It's the top. And this roof is able to fold away. Now, as you can see, here are the studs to hold all the minifigs, and I've chosen just to make 1 row. Now this is really all built within the color scheme of this station wagon, so it's not really good to tell how this is constructed. And to do so, let me get to my little assistants for today. There you have them. My own minifig keeps falling over, but it's really hot today, so my hand coordination is a bit off. So, to show you guys how this is constructed, let's first start with this car. Has a door which is 2 bricks high, right? And those are kind of special. Not something you have in your old Lego set collection of bricks. You probably have doors like this one brick high and able to swing. But if you still want to achieve that you can fit two minifigures next to each other, especially in front of the vehicle, I've created this with the bricks in all different colors, so it's really easy to see what all the different bricks are. You can first choose this technique. So you just place your one brick high door on top of a single brick or something else you've built already here, and then you use this flat tile but with a brick high side, and you place it underneath. Now of course this looks a bit weird when the door is opened, but when it is closed, and imagine this is all the same color, then it really matches pretty well. And from the side you can see, oh, there's a door handle. Now if you don't have those bricks but you do have something else, there's some other technique I've used, and I've used this technique in the station car. I'll show you guys how that works. Of course, here again there are two little jumper plates for the minifig to sit on, and next to it is just a flat little tile. And I've used these slot bricks, which are, well, these in this shape. The slot bricks to hold a smooth tile underneath the opening of the door, which makes it, again, if you have it all in the same color or in two-tone color scheme, just look like a door when it's closed. So to sum it all up in a short sentence, make sure you use your jumper plates, and make sure on the 6th and on the first row of studs you use something smooth, so your minifig will be able to sit on top. Now with this larger jumper plate I used here, a little bit placed backwards, I am able to put in what you call a center console, which you see in a lot of cars. It's just well, something where you can place the handbrake lever or something else like that. So now you've seen it in setup for two minifigures, and of course here's Steve with his zombie friends, and as you can see there's a little room left for another minifig. So let me just put mine in here. I don't think if this is really cozy or just plain scary, but also on this setup I used the technique with the, as you can see, the tile with the side brick on both ends. There he's sitting with the door on top, and on this side I used the other technique with using the snap bricks, making sure there's a flat tile here, but using the snap technique to close the lower part where your door will be. And this, and therefore I have to remove a lot. So as you can see, all those jumper plates for the minifigs to be seated, and you are able with just one row of studs in between to create a little car bench. As you can see, this is my car bench. It's the two wide cheese bricks with just a normal 1x4 brick, and by placing it in the middle it looks like it's just the front row of seats. So let me place away all the material which I used to explain some stuff. Now as we look at this station car, you can see here I used a pretty large flat tile to make my two-tone gray color continue, and it is the lower side of the doors, and I did the same on the other end, and the doors themselves are just the little 1 stud high red doors. Now there's one thing, if you want to make this fit a little bit, as in you want the doors to be attached, then if you place your second row of minifigures, they will probably sit in the back with their hands up in the air cheering, because there is hardly any room for them to leave their arms. And there's always one here, and his hand is well, waving, but hey, this is a car which has a caravan and they're going on holiday, so there's no shame in being cheerful. And I quickly put Steve in on the other end, on the other side, and oh, you see the same effect. It's his big head which makes him tilt a little bit, but usually you can see inside Steve's arm is down and the arm of my minifig is up, so they won't collide and they just can sit next to each other. So in this way I think you are able to make far more realistic car builds with at least 2 or 3 seats, and I think it's, well, it's really a start, and it is already cool if you place your seating like offset, right? Not exactly in the middle as you've seen on the old sets, and as you probably know from the Speed Champion cars, because they're sitting exactly in the middle and also is the steering wheel, and I think that is less realistic than if you, well, at least make them sit offset to the left side for European and American cars, maybe to the right side if you want to make a British or Australian or Japanese car. So to end this with a little review of the station wagon itself, it has a big boot and of course the attachment for the caravan, and I placed these to be like bumpers, and you can stuff a lot inside. It has a dog fence between the storage space and the rear couch, and to show you, there's a little brown colored bench which I think goes really nice with the well, what do you call this color, this dark red color for the seats and the bench. As you can see here, there's a little antenna piece right there, you can see the knob. It's of course to put it in drive and reverse and such, or neutral. Of course a steering wheel, center console, which doesn't really have any other function than a little bit of well, maybe for the air conditioning. And here's some gogs. And at the front, this is also something which is pretty cool, I guess. Here's of course, when it rains, something of a front windshield wiper, and you can enter the car's engine, but not in a pretty normal way. I've made the front like this, so it will look like pretty different from everything we know. And you can remove the top like this, and then you see the engine block. And as you can see, for a station wagon, which also should be able to tow caravans, you need a pretty big block, right? And I use these top roof tiles to create the side so it has a bit of shape. And I think that came out pretty well. So that's it for now. It's became a pretty mess, as you can see. But again, to close it off, you are really able to make your cars fit 4 minifigs, 3 minifigs, or 2 minifigs. And I think it's something worth to experiment with. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching. This was Jack Brick, and see you next time.